Hi, my name's Dave Such. Welcome to my channel where we talk about all things spiritual. Today we're going to address a question from listener Trughans, Trughans, who put a comment on one of the videos asking, why do we keep coming back to Earth? Well, one of the common questions that I hear in my near-death experience research that people ask when they're in the afterlife is, are we alone in the universe? And of course, the answer is always no. The universe is full of life, and there are other dimensions containing other universes that are also full of life. So it's an unimaginably huge place. Let's just talk about how big our galaxy is, which is just a pinpoint of light in our universe. You know, if you take a standard pair of binoculars and you look up at the night sky, some of those pinpoints of light you see are actually entire galaxies like ours. So traveling at the speed of light, 186,282 miles per second, you can go around the Earth about 7.5 times in 1 second. That's fast. So how long would it take to cross the little pinpoint of light we call the Milky Way galaxy? Well, you'd have to travel at that tremendous speed of light 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for an entire lifetime, and then repeat that for 1,200 lifetimes just to cross the Milky Way galaxy. And of course, there are hundreds of billions of galaxies in our universe, and near-death experiencers have been told that our entire universe is just a pinpoint in God's super universe because there are countless other dimensions containing universes that are also full of life. So why do we come down to Earth? I mean, if heaven is such a great place, and I have a video about people describing the love of heaven. You can see a link down in the description below. You can watch that video. If it's so wonderful, why are we coming to this place that's kind of hell by comparison? Well, there are multiple reasons. The first is it is a huge jump in consciousness. Earth is the most difficult planet in this galaxy in which to incarnate into, and it's one of 3 hardest in the entire universe. So if you're here, you're a top-notch daredevil soul, very wise, very experienced with physical incarnations. And probably the first reason why a soul would do this is really because it's such a huge jump in consciousness. It's a sort of a fast-track learning. There are 2 ways to do things. You can do it slow over time and sort of more comfortably, or you can do it fast, and that often involves pain and suffering. And Earth involves a lot of pain and suffering. A lot of people are going through physical pain, emotional pain, mental trauma. Some people are struggling financially. I mean, it's really difficult surviving on planet Earth down here. And so that is a big reason we do it, because it's a huge jump in consciousness. So imagine if you were going to go to sleep tonight, and I had a magic box, and I said, well, this magic box is going to make you have a dream that's going to feel like an entire lifetime. Now, none of it's going to be real. You're going to wake up, and no matter what happens, you're going to be safe and in your bed at home and comfortable. Now, you can have a horrific dream that is extremely difficult with lots of trauma and suffering and pain and negativity. And you can really struggle through this lifetime that's really just going to happen in one night. I mean, it's going to seem like a long time when you're in the middle of it, but it's really just going to be one night. And when you wake up, you get $1 million a year for the rest of your life. Or you can just have a normal, easy dream lifetime, you know, where you really don't suffer much, but when you wake up, you're going to get $35,000 a year for the rest of your life. And you're asking yourself, well, which one would I pick? Well, you picked the $1 million one. You picked to come down here for a lot of suffering, and the reward in heaven is great. So it allows us access to the higher realms of heaven. When we have a huge learning experience, a huge jump in consciousness, we can access the higher realms of heaven, which are more beautiful and more wonderful and more loving and more filled with joy beyond human description. So that's the big reason we do it. And of course, the second reason is because we love our family. Consciousness learns through contrast. So in a perfect environment, you know, if you were a billionaire, would you be doing the job you're doing now? Would you be making a contribution to humanity by doing whatever job you're doing, which is probably important for humanity? Probably not. When we have all the comforts and conveniences of our heavenly home, we don't change, we don't grow. So we come down here to experience the love-fear duality, and we do it because we love our heavenly family. Near-death experiences have been told or shown that if it were not for human beings incarnating into physical existences and experiencing the fear-love duality, the bubble of love of heaven could not continue to exist and grow. So we are a critical part of the engine of growth of creation. We love our family. Now, a lot of people, when you're in the middle of it, if you're like me, complain and say, you know, why did I do this? Am I nuts? You know, I mean, I didn't have to come down here. I could have just stayed in heaven. Yes, you're not forced to come down here. But it's kind of like this event called Burning Man that I used to go to when I was younger. And it's a big art and music festival in the desert. 70,000 people get together on a dry lake bed in Nevada. And they have all sorts of arts and displays and music and dancing. And there's drinking and drug taking and things like that. But it's an amazing experience, but you can't buy or sell anything. You go there and everybody contributes to the community out of love. So there's restaurants and bike repair shops and bars and nightclubs and all sorts of entertainment. And it's all free because everybody contributes out of love. It's a different experience, but it's a harsh environment. There's dust storms. You have to bring everything you need for 9 days. The only thing they have is porta potties, ice sails, and coffee sails. You got to bring your own water, food, everything, and you got to pack it all out. There's not even any trash cans. But, it's a very interesting experience because you grow and you learn so much. And so even though it's difficult and it's a harsh environment, it's really common to get done with that and say, oh, that was really difficult, but wow, I had such a good time and I learned so much. I got to do that again. And that is very common for souls. They get done with their earthly lives. They get back in heaven. They have their life review and they go, oh my gosh, that was a tough life. I suffered so much. I went through so much pain and suffering and it was so difficult. And, I was scared at times and I felt fear. But then you look at it and you say, but I learned so much. And I had some amazingly good experiences down there too. And after a while, after a long rest there in heaven, when you're rejuvenated, you say, oh, wow, I got to do that again. I got to get back to earth. It's a privilege to be here. For every 100 souls that qualifies, that wants to come down here and have the experience, there's only a body for one. So, it's a real honor. It's a real joy in so many ways to be here. So we're supposed to make the best of it. We're supposed to have fun. In the times of suffering and the difficult times, we're supposed to find joy and laughter if we can and endure our suffering with a humble dignity. And if we can manage to do that and just enjoy the good times, no matter what you do in this life, whether you feel like a big screw up or a big success, it's still a huge learning experience. Even a person who comes down and spends their entire life being a homeless drug addict, it's a huge jump in consciousness. Probably bigger than spending a lifetime as a wealthy person with not too many problems. The more you suffer, the faster you grow. And so it is really a privilege and an honor and a joy to be here. So let's make the most of it. And when there's storms coming along in life, just remember you can't calm the storm, but what you can do is you can calm yourself and the storm will pass. Earth is the fun place to be. It's the burning man of the universe. Well, that's about it for today. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep spreading your light and love.